B1AG, I want the bag. Work my way from a garden to a track. Flip it from a track to a plot full of acres. Do it for the farmers and the producers and the makers. What we even here for? Occasionally I ask it. I know it's more than struggling, anticipating the casket. Reap what we sow, I'm trying to fill up my basket. Life's a plantation, I self-law and master. Over the plot, I've been granted on this planet. Now it's slanted, cause the chosen been supplanted. But if you overstand it, it was spoken. Fractured, but we ain't broken. Even though some would rather play the role of token, we growing. Black through the essence of our presence. We carry the blood of gods, we carry the mind of peasants. Rich black gardens, future look more like Eden. Multiply seeds like the seed banks in Sweden. Rep my planners on plan according to season. B1 code, switching it up is treason. Black power, family what we eat. Either we get fed or we feed. B1AG.
Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Fair use is the use permitted by copyright statute that may otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use. Welcome, Black. Welcome, Black. Welcome, Black. This is B1AG. I'm John Henry Harris. We have Farmer Brown EMC. And we're here at B1AG. We focus on Black agriculture as it pertains to agricultural production, education, marketing, health, food, nutrition, all for the Black family and for the Black community. I hope you've been doing well. It's been a while. It's been a little, we had to take a little break. Life happens. And we had to take a little break, but we're back. This is really a movement. This is something we wholeheartedly believe in, and we offer you practical knowledge and solutions to your health, food, and nutrition. We have a great story for you, but before we get into it, make sure that you like, share, and subscribe. Like, share, and subscribe. You can subscribe to B1AG Daily Bread Podcast on YouTube. Just type that into your search bar on YouTube and subscribe. But make sure that you like and share and subscribe to help grow this platform. Okay. Now, over the last few weeks, there's been a lot of, or the last week or so, there's been a lot of changes going on in this world. But one of the most idiotic things are these challenges, all these challenges they have on TikTok and social media. And the world seems to be captivated and has been captivated by this crate challenge. You're walking across these crates and, people are falling and getting hurt. But here at B1AG, we have a real practical solution. And today we're going to talk about it. And we want to use this crate challenge. We challenge you to use all these crates that we know are in the hoods now to actually grow some food. Let's do something practical. And we also have a video, TikTok video of someone who also even suggests not only using these crates to grow food, but to also use to make compost. So we're going to come at you with some practical ideas and some better challenges to use those crates for that will actually help our community, feed our community, and strengthen our food security. Farmer Brown, let's jump into it. What do you got to say?
First, I would just like to say peace to the B1 family. Glad to be back on here. Bruh said life happens fast. I mean, that's an understatement. And so literally in the last 3 weeks, and so my twins, they've been in daycare for about 8 months now. And so just in the last 3 weeks, and so week one, they were out for RSV. This is a sickness that was going around in the daycare, is a RSV virus. And so, kept them home for a while. And then the very next week, 2 of the classrooms popped up with COVID. Fortunately, thank the Most High, my kids were straight. But life happens fast. I can only imagine, this is it's a relatively close-knit daycare, but, these things affect parents. When we think about what's going on right now with the eviction moratoriums, the Supreme Court shut it down. Like, no, landlords, go on and evict them. These are going to have some far-reaching ramifications. I was reading some articles earlier talking about a lot of the stimulus money that's been, floated around for stimulus for COVID relief. A lot of that's drying up. And in the midst of all of that, not to get on global politics as we delve into this, but the thing going on across the ocean in what we call Afghanistan and Persia. This milk crate challenge is a horrible look because right now the eyes of the world are watching. I guess we'll dig into a little bit more during the course of this discussion today. But this is the time to really be on code. And I'm not on TikTok, but just seeing the news feeds flooded with people walking up and down, crates. The gardener in me is like, man, that's tomatoes, that's peppers, this is squash, this is zucchini. But we rather break our legs. Got some serious discussions to have, family. And I'd also real quick like to say peace to my family down in the Gulf, down in Louisiana, Hurricane Ida. That's my grandmother's name. And my grandmother has always been a nurturer. And so, but I definitely send my condolences to the people down there without power, going through some very tough times right now.
Definitely want to send our best and our blessings and good energy and prayers out to the people in Louisiana and all throughout the Gulf. We're in some serious times, y'all. Very serious times. And that's why it's so, it's just kind of, it makes me mad, y'all. I'm just gonna be honest with y'all. It makes me very upset. I'm a fairly serious kind of guy. I like to have fun and laugh, but there's some things that I just don't seem funny. And this has been going on for years now. All these new little challenges come up, and they always seem to be the most absurd things that everybody wants to try and make popular. And it makes us just look stupid. And this latest thing, this crate challenge, this is something that, again, this really perturbs me. And we're just gonna take a look at this.
Little buddy, what's on your heart? You done gave me internal bleeding in this bitch. I gotta go to work. This crate's gonna kill more people than COVID-19. I done broke my fucking spleen. Don't run, little dummy. They finna have to start doing GoFundMe. And where y'all get these fucking crates? Just lock your ankles. Stop, bro. I need you on my hands. Look at this wedding cake. Look at this wedding cake. Hey! Hey!
Once you start, you can't stop. There she go. You got it, mama.
She got it. Oh, you got it?
No, you got it, go. You can't quit when you stop.
Ain't no backing out.
Oh, you can't touch.
Can't touch it. Can't touch it. Can't touch it. Come on.
Go ahead.
You got it. You got it. Come on. You got it. Put your elbows for that blood. Now run.
Oh, her arm broke. Oh, her arm broke. Oh, shit. Oh, fuck.
Now, Ace to play half. Two halves.
Like people.
Bro, last time we talked, Cuomo hadn't been kicked out yet, so he's gone. But one of the things he was pushing, we're talking about New York City being a pilot run for, having the vaccination passports to go into restaurants, to slow the spread. So since that time, this has become, you see universities, a lot of institutions, a lot of restaurants like, hey, if you don't have your identification that you've been treated, that you've had this therapy, then you can't come in this eating establishment. We also discussed that we're literally right now, numbers that say it's 50-50 split. And so it's about, 50.3% of the nation, has paperwork. The other 50% doesn't. 100% of the nation has to eat. I feel like we're at a time right now. I get it. People, be lighthearted, man. Have a good time. All this craziness going on. Just have fun. Do a milk crate challenge. But at what point do we get serious, family? What point do we get serious? It'd be one thing, do the stair step challenge. But like I said, the gardener in me sees a milk crate, and this is literally a resource. A lot of where these challenges are taking place in urban areas. When we talk about urban agriculture, when we talk about container gardening, when we talk about vertical gardening, pallet gardens, when we talk about different ways of producing food, because depending on numbers, whichever numbers you're listening to, okay, we know the melanated family is very skeptical about a lot of these protocols going on. And so, okay, there is a piece of vigilance, being angry, the online, no, I'm not going to do this, the rebellion. But then when we look in a practical sense, what does this look on the street level? So if you're going to stand your ground, if we're going to stand our ground and, stay where we stay, we still got to be able to feed ourselves. And so I think the irony of something like a milk crate challenge, of all things, these are literally containers where you can grow plants, not just cute flowers, but these are literal mediums. And I've seen a few posts online on Facebook and social media. A couple cats get it. Like, hey, y'all are doing this with all these milk crates. Like, let's put these in some of these gardens, because I'm pretty sure everywhere where these people are at, there's distressed properties, there's open spaces, and this is what these types of gardens work best for. If you don't have a lot of good soil, if you have limited space, boom, bring in a container, put your matrix in. It's very disheartening, but once again, I do think this is a great opportunity to bring this to people's attention, since the word milk crate has become a trending word, that, hey, milk crates are also have more use than breaking our bones.
And it's very simple, y'all. Take the crate, instead of walking on top of it, flip it over, open side up, put some lawn fabric, some landscape fabric inside the milk crate, line it. So when you put your dirt in, or your potting soil, your potting soil, so it won't fall through the holes, and then put a plant in it. These are milk crates. They're made to be stacked, so you can put them all. If you're in an apartment, you can put them on your front porch, on your balcony. We have a class that we have in healthyblackfood.com, and we actually show you how to do that. This is one of the main containers that we suggest that you can use to help grow food. Like, this is why I get so upset. It's because we are in the middle of a very real supply chain and food shortage. We are having a drought unseen in recorded history. Farmers are choosing not to grow food out on the West Coast because there's no water to give to the plants. They're literally pulling up food and just plowing down their fields. So all that food that we're used to getting, every year after year after year, we're not going to have that this harvest. That's food that we are not going to have. It is very important that we as a people grow our own food. It's very important that we get some seeds in the ground. This is not like something cute or, some cutesy thing that we're talking about. We're talking about survival. And to me, what's cooler than surviving? It's not going to be cool when, when you don't have anything to eat. It's going to be a Hunger Games challenge then.
Bro, we're just past the anniversary of Katrina. What is it, 16 years, Hurricane Katrina. Most of us, at least in our 30s or 40s, saw the ramifications of what happened when these natural disaster or unnatural disasters happen. So you have people in communities that are displaced. Okay, my power went out currently as we speak. I think they said almost 80% of New Orleans power is out. Why is power important? Because if you want your refrigerator to work, it has to be plugged into something unless you have a generator. When you think about the broader implications, and so what happened in Katrina? A lot of people had to go to the Superdome. This was pre-COVID. This was pre, what we see going on now. We also know a few months back there was some other storms happening, and people were being required to have certain medical procedures done before being able to enter these places for help. Why would they need the help? Well, because I didn't have what I thought I would need at the house, at the apartment, at the spot, and so I needed to go to the central location. My government said that they're here to help me. And then my government said, well, I can only help you if you let me help you the way I want to help you first. And so, we're not here to try to steer anybody's mind because I feel like mainstream media is doing that enough. But we're here to talk about what are the solutions, what are the things that we can do right now. We need to get into growing some, if not all, of our food. We can't stress this enough. We can't repeat it enough. This is the perfect time to really look into cooperative growing operations. To build those crates, there was a cooperative effort. It took somebody saying, hey, man, I got some crates. I'm going to bring it to this location. And I don't think just one individual would. I don't know how many crates are involved in it. It's got one of those little weird mystical step formations. That's a whole nother topic. But it took somebody to bring those crates. Somebody had to plan this out, like this is what we're going to do with these crates. They were on code. And then somebody said, now, once we get these crates set up, we're going to get X amount of people to walk up and down them. To see all of these different challenges, that means there was literally hundreds of thousands of people who are on code to do this. Now, funny but not funny. Now, what if you had a quarter of that many people who are on code to say, okay, the same time, effort, and energy it took me to bring these crates to this location to set people up for failure so I can get some clicks and views, some likes. What do they say? Attention is the new currency. Family, here in the next few months, weeks, food's going to be the new currency. This is indicative when you go to your local grocery stores. I went to Walmart, I think this was week before last. My mom wanted me to go get her some water. Bro, when I tell you, and this is on the north side of town in Lexington, when I tell you literally the whole freezer aisle was empty. There was no freezer meals. I'm not making this up. I wanted to take pictures, but I was wanting to get in and out. There was no frozen meals, none. I'm not exaggerating. No frozen meals. Walk to the next. I'm thinking, okay, maybe they're remodeling. Nothing on that aisle. So all frozen items were gone. They did have a little bit of meat in the meat section. But as far as frozen meals, we know in a lot of our communities where the melanated family is at, those frozen meals become clutch. You walk down the other aisles. Canned goods aren't where they used to be. I went all the way back to where the water was. I literally had to climb on the shelf and tap some water down, because we don't do the tap water, so I had to tap the distilled water down. And and this was on a Sunday. So saying that to say, I'm a person that, you look at news, you look at what's going on just to kind of, gauge the temperature of what are, people exposing themselves to, what are the possible talking points. And then it's another thing. I tend to live life based on what do I see in front of me? Do I see people falling out dead? Do I see people, going crazy? There's a lot of things I'm starting to see, and I can only speak through what I see through my eyes. I can't speak for what's going on the other side of the country. I can't even see what's going on behind me. But what I can see in front of me is there is a shortage of things that people have become used to being relatively accessible. Food being the main one. When we find ourselves in a situation where politics, whether we're talking about, the healthiest way to address certain issues, when politics is creating this dynamic where you must have this to be able to eat. I'm like, no, where was this energy? Hey, you must eat some local food from a local producer. You must show ID that you've shopped with a local producer this year. so you can cut those comorbidities, so you can cut those pre-existing conditions. We're in some very serious times, family. And like I said, I'm not here I can't judge anybody. I've done stupid things in my life. I imagine I'll do more idiotic things, but every day you grow, you try to get better, you try to mature a little bit. And it's like in the midst of all of these things going on, we have hundreds of thousands of new people coming into this country. Some were allies with the US over there in Afghanistan. And you got to know, just working odds. Okay, if you bring 100,000, 50,000 of any group in, everybody within that group ain't going to necessarily be who you thought you were bringing in. And so as we come up on the 20-year anniversary of 9/11, you got to think there's some opportunistic people out here who just either like the drama. There's some people that have real vitriol and anger and want to prove points. But saying that to say, there's so many angles right now. We got these hurricanes popping. We got these shortages popping. I encourage the family to look at what's going on in Australia right now with the camps, the safety camps. Oh, well, the hotels are filled up, so we're going to create these camps, 1,000-bed camps for you to come, and we can make sure that you're safe. This is in Australia, but once again, when you understand we're a part of the whole, the Most High, we're this cell floating around, or whatever you want to call it, multiverse, universe, or whatever. But what happens over there is inevitably going to happen, whatever and affect whatever we feel like we have happening over here. Right now, the melanated family in what we call North America, Turtle Island, is in the best position to not only change directly what we have going on here, but in the best position to affect the energy and wave of around the world. And if we reduce ourselves to crate challenges and not be able to flip that into, okay, now let's take these same crates people broke their legs on and use these same crates to feed some people. It's a activity of practicing in karma. Okay, I participated in bringing these crates, so this lady walked up and broke her leg. And so the same amount of energy I spent bringing this crate so I could laugh, the same phone I used, the same, bandwidth I used to paint this picture of this melanated woman, these melanated people having this following me, use these same gadgets, same tools to grow some food. And I'm going to document it over a couple months. When you think about greens, these are things you can harvest in about 60 days, right? We got to really be thinking serious because we're coming into the winter. Greens do relatively well in the winter, any sort of leafy plants. When we think about indoor gardening, we're really going to have to start thinking about, what are some ways we can grow? Are we going to have steak and fettuccine every day? You're not going to grow that in your garden. But when we're thinking about a survival situation, because the world is, peace, Brother Thaxton, it's good to see you too, man. When we think about the world changing, what are we doing to direct which way this change goes?
Now, we said use these milk crates to grow food. Some of y'all, we say that and it may not click with y'all. So I just want to show you exactly what we're talking about. Here, as you can see on the screen, it's different examples of how you can take these milk crates and actually use them to grow food. Just take a look. Those milk crates are containers. You could put any kind of, whether it's a plastic trash bag, landscaping material, line that crate up, put your soil in there and grow actual plants. They're stackable. You could put them in rows. If you don't have, if you're in the city, which really makes this a very viable and very practical way to grow, especially if you're in the city. You can actually grow food. And this food, like I said, like Farmer Brown said, food will be the new currency because there is a shortage of food already. If you go to the grocery store, you can see the empty shelves, and they've been empty for a while since the beginning of this pandemic. So we want to show you and just encourage you to do something more practical, do something that's going to help you as far as opposed to hindering you. You know, these crates, they're really gold. You know, we're seeing these crate challenges, and there are literally hundreds and thousands, well, hundreds of people gathering at a time in parks, and they're having like crate challenge parties and crate challenge cookouts, and you know, and come on, we're better than that. We're better than that. And even outside of just doing these crate challenges, as far as growing food, I came across a TikTok video that I'd like to share with you, and that challenge that this particular person, this brother came up with, was actually to use the crates to not only just grow food, but to also, you know, as an opportunity to make compost. So, you know, which is again helping them to recycle and get the most out of, you know, turn trash into treasure. You know, that's where we need to be. This is where our heads need to be, because this is really about survival, and we really need to be thinking of real creative, practical ways to get some things done in our community, because they don't care. And as I'm seeing with these crate challenges, a lot of us don't care either. But I do. I know Farmer Brown cares, and I know a lot of our viewers care. So check this out. This is by an Instagram user by the name of Zolani, and he had a great idea. I really like this idea, and this is about using the crates to actually to make compost. Check this out. Hold on, let me make sure that the volume is turned up. But this brother Zolani had a great idea, and I think we all can really learn from this and just make better decisions instead of breaking our arms or breaking our necks and injuring ourselves. Let's promote life. Okay, it doesn't look like it's not gonna let me use sound. But the same way we were talking about walking up these crates, use these crates and put your food scraps in them. Put your food scraps in them again, line them up with whether it's they use old t-shirts, trash bags, tarps, burlap sacks, and put your scraps in there, cover it up, maybe a piece of wood or something, and let that trash compost down to soil, something you can use to grow. You know, these are the type of crate challenges that we need to go viral. This is what we need to be doing, you know, with our time. We need to be doing this because time is limited. Time is limited. Time is limited. That's a finite thing. You know, we only have 24 hours in a day. We only have so much time before those crops that we're used to getting from the West Coast, when we look for them in the stores, they're not going to be there. And that's because they're not growing as we speak. They're not growing. There's no water. We need to grow some food, y'all. And again, we teach you how to grow your own food at healthyblackfood.com. Sign up, take it serious, and take it serious. You know, it's time that we put these ideas into action. We need to put this into motion like yesterday. You know, it's approaching the fall. You know, it's the end of summer. It's approaching the fall. You know, it's going to be limited ways we can grow. You know, but there are solutions. Where you use high tunnels, low tunnels, greenhouses, growing indoors, hydroponic setups. aeroponic setups. We need to get busy, y'all. We need to get busy. This is very, very serious. But what is concerning is that, you know, the same. It's like we just got too many people that instead of really wanting to grow food, you know, they'd rather do this.
Ooh, wee! God damn!
He got it. He got it.
Easy money. Easy money. Easy money.
Easy. Easy. Yo, he got it. He got it. Ah!
Hello. Where you got it? Hello. What up? Shit. I got bump. Hello. Where you got it? Hello. What up? Shit. I got bump.
How long are we gonna be the world's joke? How long are we gonna be the world's entertainment? How long? For how long? When are we gonna reclaim our spot as the world's glowing, shining example? Urban agriculture is gonna be a major part of our survival if we take advantage of it. That's if we take advantage of it. Urban agriculture, urban gardening, urban farming, you know, vertical farms. This is going to be either a make or break. It's going to be make or break for us. Make or break. I went to the grocery store today. I'm in Georgia. He's in Kentucky. I'm seeing the same thing. Empty freezer shelves. Empty shelves. No, like very little food. The fresh fruits and fresh foods, produce that are available, they really don't look that good. And especially, they really don't look that good. And I'm in South Georgia. These are where all the black farmers are. But you know what's going on? Those premium produce, that good looking food, they're shipping them away from us into other zip codes and other area codes. That food isn't for us. We're always going to be last in the food line, so to speak. They put us in the back of the bus. We're also in the last in the food line. That's why in our neighborhoods we have those food deserts, a lack of fresh produce and healthy food options, because we're at the back of the food line. We get what's left over. So instead of being at the back of the food line and getting what's left over, we have an opportunity to get in the front of the line. And that's by growing our own food, eating better, and, you know, as opposed to taking a part of a crate challenge. Let's use those crates for something productive. The only thing that this current crate challenge is doing is sending people to an already overcrowded hospital because there's people there fighting for their lives from these variants and other little communicable diseases.
If I'm gonna put my tinfoil kufi on, so if there is some well-planned, intricate, nefarious effort and campaign to eradicate this planet of melanated people, that would take a lot of cooperation. And so to make this happen, you got to kill the image of the group I want to eradicate. I got to make the world see you as just, oh my God, this world would be a better place if those melanated people weren't here. So I'm not going to show the picture of these farmers who've been out here putting in this work. I'm not going to show these men and women who have been out here producing, building communities. I'm going to show you the worst of them. and I'm going to broadcast it all around the world. When we bring these new people into the country, they're going to be like, oh, I don't feel bad coming setting up shop in your community, because while I'm setting up shop in your community, y'all going to be doing crate challenges. Y'all going to be twerking. Media is very powerful. Media and propaganda is very powerful. Algorithms, we're kind of new to the whole streaming world. The algorithms, it's a science to it. There's a reason why people see what it is that they see. That's not conspiratorial. It's business, and you realize that, wow, people gravitate to negativity. Any newspaper writer that's honest will tell you, hey, I'm not going to sell no papers if I'm telling you about all the positive, good things going on in the world. Because in a world of 7.6 billion people, you got to know there are a lot of good things going on, a lot of good work going on. But when there's this effort, this is just my spidey senses, when I see mass broadcasts of this type of activity, such as this crate challenge, I saw in one of those, there was actually a garden in the backdrop. Didn't look like it was well taken care of. That was ironic. I have to wonder why is this the image that's wanting to be shown? We're in a time and space where we're wanting to promote health and well-being. I mean, is this where are the fact checkers? Is this factually a thing that promotes health? What is the purpose of this being promoted? Why aren't we promoting the black farmers who still haven't got none of this relief yet? Just a question.
So B1AG family, go to healthyblackfood.com, sign up. Make sure that you go to just like, share, subscribe. Let's grow this platform. Let's get this word out. Let's normalize us talking about eating healthier, building our own food forest, making sure that we are food secure, and eradicating even the idea of there being a food desert. If you don't eat, you don't live. We can live without the crate. We can live without the crate challenge. We were living before the crate challenge. We'll live after the crate challenge. If we don't have anything to eat, it's over, y'all. It's that simple. It's that simple. I mean, I see so many thousands of people, like literally thousands of people are doing this crate challenge. Can we have thousands of people using those same crates to grow some food? Can we have thousands of people using buckets and whatever they can to grow some food? Can we have thousands of people growing food in their yards? If you have a home with some land, it doesn't take much, but that harvest is so plentiful. That harvest, that milk crate, that same milk crate that sent people to the hospital, that milk crate can save your life. It can bring you life. It can bring you sustenance. It can bring you nutrition. What's going on? What's really going on? You got any last words for him, Farmer Brown?
The world is watching. Spotlight's on us, family. I think many people around the world know that we're a sleeping giant. Most of those melanoids, autochthonous, aboriginal, Niji from Turtle Island, come to their senses about what's going on. The world can go in either direction. And so, my thing is, and I'm only coming from my modest standpoint, is what made us great. It was the ability to build civilization. What built civilization? Man's ability to produce food, secure sustenance in a single place consistently, and then you can venture out and get into the arts and the sports and all of these other social things that we're just dying to get back to. It's getting black to the garden, taking it black to the basics, black to the essence of what made us the fathers and mothers of humanity, of society. And so it's to the degree we embrace our humanity, our ability to feed, and that starts with growing.
And I know it may seem like, getting together to grow some food, getting together in your community, to grow some food seems like such a huge task. Many hands make light work. Many hands make light work. I've seen in places like Atlanta, like I said, hundreds, if not thousands of people gathering to watch people fall off of these crates and break their arms and hurt themselves, break their ribs, puncturing lungs. Many hands make light work. If all those people were, planning something, then we'll see some progress. Let's make some progress in this world, y'all. Because honestly, this crate challenge, the way they're doing it now, I know why. Oh, it's just funny. I just like to watch it. It's funny. It's a getaway. It's a distraction. It's a getaway. No, it's setting us back. We can't be satisfied with making our people look like fools to the world. The world is looking. These crate challenges have probably gone millions and millions and tens of millions, if not 100 million views over the last 2 weeks. And I've seen a lot of memes like, where are these milk crates coming from? Damn, where they get all these milk crates from? I wonder the same thing. Like they just seem like they popped out of nowhere. It's like did the mothership came and dropped down some doggone milk crates for us to walk on? But if they did come from the mothership to drop down, I guarantee you they were probably put here for us to grow something. So, Farmer Brown, if these folks really want to know something, if they really want to know what to do with these milk crates, what do they need to do, bro?
If you really want to know something, let's challenge ourselves. Let's challenge our family members, challenge those we love to learn how to grow something.
Thank y'all. I'm glad y'all, glad to be back. Grow harder. Let's grow harder. Let's be an example. Let's prepare for the great harvest. Because if we don't prepare for the great harvest, the opposite of the great harvest is the great famine. And I don't think you really want that. So let's get to growing. Y'all have a great time. Y'all be blessed. And we'll see you next time. We're out.